Hello everyone, my name is Legendary and this game is Rise of Civilization. Now what this video is gonna be about, we are trying to show some love to Belisarius. I probably did talk about him in one of my live streams. I explained a lot, but I'm pretty sure people don't really enjoy watching a 2-hour video about that. And this is the first thing. And the second thing, I want to answer some of my recent questions, because there are some questions that I pretty much get a lot, so I rather just try to put a couple of things in a video so I can just show them a shorter video what I'm talking about. So the first question, the most questions that I'm actually getting is about Scipio. Now the thing that I have to say about Scipio is that he is great, so don't get me wrong about Scipio, he is great. But once people start having specialization setups like full infantry, full cavalry, Scipio is quite dropping behind, to be honest. And I've seen that people tend to stuck with Scipio and they keep leveling him up. Maybe he's gonna get better, who knows. All my videos I'm talking about specialization, guys. Specialization commanders. This is what I'm talking in all my videos. Specialization commanders, infantry, archers, cavalry, less archers because there's too much cavalry into the game at the moment. So this is why I want to show Belisarius some love, and I'm gonna talk about Pelagius as well. So where is Belisarius? Here is Belisarius. He's getting close to max out. In the future I'm most likely going to level Pelagius as well. So I just want to give you some advices as well. I mentioned when I done my pairing video that Boudica, Scipio, Osman and John of Arc, they are universal commanders. They are general commanders. They fit in any army, but they do not excel in any of them. So you can use them wherever you want, but they don't excel anywhere. So this is very important to keep that in mind. That's why at the moment I'm not using Boudica. So as much as I love her and as much as I used to play with her, but I'm not using her for combat anymore because it's not a specialization. Now why am I talking so much about specialization? Let me just show you some reports, because this is why I'm keep talking about specializations. This is why I'm keep advising people about specialization. So I believe is this report. This is one of my very old report with the Charles Martel and Richard against Cavalry. That's a level 60 Minamoto maxed out and level 41 double C maxed out. So you can see they all have expertise. Now there is something that you're noticing. I was using tier 4 infantry normal ones. So I was not with Rome here. I was still with British. So 200,000 versus 200,000, well 1,500 less. 60,000 severely wounded. No, well, on this report he was with full cavalry talent pad, and the rest was on the skill. So he had full cavalry talent pad, almost full, because there is one part which is not really great, and the rest was on the skill. It's more likely the one that I have on Minamoto right now. So this is what he used on this one. Now we have this particular report. I hope it's this one, where I used again my regular tier 4 infantry. So there was no special tier 4, and he used the skill pad. Now I'm not sure if you're noticing, but there is a lot more severely wounded, and I'm left with a lot more troops. So the initial damage was probably much higher when he had the specialization. So he did much worse with the skill talent pad. Now let's go forward, because I have another one with him. I'm not sure if it's closer here or no, it's over here. I believe it's this one. No, defeat. Is it a very young one? Yes. All right. So here it is. This is the one. No. This is the one. On this one, it happened during a live stream, and this is my Roman legionnaires. So this is with my Roman legionnaires. So I had special unit, he had special unit, he had the conquistadors. on this particular battle. I'm not sure if I can still check. No, it's too old, so I cannot check anymore. And he was on the skill path, and he even had Naked Rage. Now the reason he has Naked Rage is because he's soloing level 5 forts with the build that he has. So he even had Naked Rage, which actually does a tremendous lot of skill damage. So I had the Roman Legionnaires. So look at the amount of severely wounded that he had when we were actually equal in power. So this is what I'm trying to say, because I was with specializations, and this is the problem where a lot of free-to-play players they are encountering. Now imagine that you're a free-to-play player, you don't spend into the game, and you have a lot of severely wounded. How devastating is that for you? For someone that spends like me and has a lot of severely wounded, it's not really a problem. I can heal them up. But if I even have less severely wounded, well, my friend, I can keep battling as long as I want. So let's just go and check some Ark of Osiris replays. Let me make sure that I'm using some of the good ones. Alright, so there you go. Boudica. Boudica, as I mentioned, she is a general commander. She is a universal commander. 80,000 severely wounded. He is definitely a free-to-play player. If this would be an actually worse scenario, now how long could you sustain that particular war? You would probably be able to heal once. You'll probably be able to heal twice, and after that you'll probably tap out of speed rush, out of resources. So what is your main important? What is very, very important? To try to have less severely wounded, managing your resources. I was asked a lot of times why my gatherers are not level 40. Well, will my level 40 gatherers going to win me a battle? I don't really think so, and we are going to get to that part as well. So there you go, Boudica again, Lohar, and look at the amount of severely wounded they have. Scipio Africanus, everyone is using too much universal commanders. Boudica, Minamoto, Lohar, Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar is a universal commander as well. He doesn't have a specialization. He is just that good when he's maxed out because of the amount of troops that he can bring. So he can inflict a seriously large amount of damage. So there you go. I'm not going to go any further because I pretty much proved my point. And he has Sun Tzu and Scipio Africanus. I'm 100% sure he is on the skill path. So there is large amount of severely wounded that you get as a free-to-play player. Now we get to the point where you're probably wondering why I am suggesting for free-to-play players so much to play with Spain. Well, I mentioned this in a couple of my videos, but I just want to put this one in this video. The reason I'm suggesting that is because of the 10% experience that you gain, the resources. You have a special unit, Conquistadors, which are really, really awesome, and you have epic commanders which you can max out, and they are Cavalry specialization, and these are the commanders that you should actually focus from the beginning. I advise, and I still advise that in many of my videos, that you should start with Britain. So you get Boudica, you get a peacekeeping commander. At level 10 you got a free free token to switch your civilization, and that's when you should switch to Spain. Then you have Lohar, which in any new kingdom people are killing it like crazy as fast as Lohar event is released on your kingdom. And then with those two commanders you can level up your Pelagius, and then you can level up your Belisarius, and you can have a very strong and powerful specialization set up for your cavalry. Now you're probably saying, bro, but I'm freaking free to play. When do you think that I'm gonna have a March of Cavalry? Well, first of all, you are killing barbarians, so you are participating in the events, or I don't know, gathering events, all kind of events where you do get speed ups. Well, all that speed ups, you can save them up when you can reach your tier 4. It's not necessary full march has to be only tier 4. You can have tier 3, and then you keep upgrading it to tier 4 when you have speed ups. So you can have a tier 3 march but have a specialization setup. You need to manage your resources. This is very, very important. For you, having a lot of severely wounded is tremendously hard to keep recovering, and there is resources which are involved. So this is why when I'm advising to free to play to do with Spain. Now let's go, because you know I'm playing for 6 months. There you go, 6 months and almost 2 weeks. Let's say 6 months and 2 weeks. Now if I go in my commanders, I have 3 commanders to level 60, which they are legendary. It took me 6 months, and I spend into the game. And I'm getting closer to my tier 5. I took the long road to try to spend as less as possible, but I did spend a lot in the end. And I have 3 level 60 commanders. Now imagine you as a free-to-play player, how long does it take you to get a level 60 commander, which talents have a very important role. I take Minamoto for example. You see how much part I managed to cover with talents, and that's the same thing you can do with your Pelagius, and this is why I'm advising Spain, because you get 10% more on top of everyone else. If you are with Spain, you have special unit, and as I mentioned, Pelagius and Belisarius. Now you're probably wondering why I'm saying Pelagius and Belisarius as a free-to-play, why I'm not saying Babers. Well, you have 100 rage restoration, which is pretty unique. There is a significant alright damage factor. You have 300 and another 300 and 300, which is like 900 damage factor. But the most important one is the rage restoration. So this is a very nice skill from Pelagius. Then you have Cavalry attack and defense when you obtain his expertise, and being an epic commander, you'll definitely gonna obtain his expertise. It cost you about 440 universal sculpture to manage to max out his skills. As I mentioned, skills are important, but levels are very important as well. You've noticed how many talent points you can put, and Pelagius has the same talent path as I just showed you on Minamoto, and it's the same talent path that I would advise you on Pelagius as well. And you can go back and you can pause and see exactly how my Minamoto it is. Then you have Cavalry bonus, and you have a little bit of healing, which is really good. If you want to ask me in terms of epic commanders, I believe that Pelagius is the best healer. It says here 100 healing factor 450 every second for 2 seconds. Well, this makes me believe that it's a total of 900 healing factor, which is pretty strong for a Cavalry commander, and that's why I consider him the best epic healer. Now the reason I'm suggesting you to do that with Belisarius as a second in command is because if you're going on the specialization talent path as I'm advising you, so you can have less severely wounded, so you can try to manage your resources better, you'll have attack reduction to your enemy and defense reduction. If you're on the specialization talent path, you are a lot focused on your troops, so your troops can do a lot of damage. So reducing the defense of your enemy, it would also help your cavalry to deal a lot of damage. Then you have a small direct damage factor, which, you know, it's thank you for that, which is great. So having the rage restoration from Pelagius, it will help you cast this skill over and over. And if you have a 6-star Pelagius, you should be able to have the important ones from the cavalry, which is the Rallying Cry and Undying Fury, and anything else that requires for the Rallying Cry, and you should be able to get Rejuvenate. So once Pelagius reaches 6 stars, you should be able to complete that. Now Belisarius also has increased damage dealt to barbarians. Personally, I wouldn't really bother leveling up Belisarius. That's gonna be entirely up to you if you want to level him higher, but I would say that he is excellent as second in command, and as long as his skills are unlocked, that is exactly what you need from Belisarius. Now we go forward and we are noticing that increased cavalry defense by 50%, and when you obtain his expertise, that's going to be 30% defense on your cavalry and increase march speed by 50% for 10 seconds after leaving the battle. Now this is something that I want to mention, because increased march speed after leaving the battle, it doesn't mention that only for cavalry. So until you manage to get your full cavalry setup, this will help you out in any situation. So whenever you're going to leave the battle, you have a lot of march speed, and this is going to help you to, I don't know, maybe try to get away when you are retreating. This is very helpful in any situation. Now there is a 30% defense bonus, and you get another 15% defense bonus from your Pelagius. Now you're probably thinking, is that tanking cavalry a thing? No, there is no such thing. Sorry to disappoint you. Is there very defensive cavalry a thing? Yes, that it is. That is very, very possible. 45% defense bonus for your cavalry. That's insane amount for a free-to-play just from 2 commanders. So you're not gonna deliver as much damage as others, but you will be very, very defensive, and you will be able to sustain a lot of damage because you also have a little bit of healing from Pelagius. If you unlock the expertise of Belisarius, you'll also have a lot of march speed, so you can basically choose your battles. If you're engaging into a battle and you're not happy, you can just simply retreat or move somewhere else, attack something else, because you'll gain the 50% march speed, and I'm fairly sure that you will be able to run away. You'll have plenty of time to run away. Now, as a free-to-play player, how you could use this particular setup? There's another way you could use it. When target armies has been reduced to less than 50% strength, increase damage dealt to target by Belisarius' army by 25%. So this is again involves specialization, like I'm just telling you, because it's the army's damage, it's not going to be your skill damage. Now how is this going to be helpful? You can pick your fights. If someone is already on yellow, you are on your full army strength, you just attack that guy, and your army is going to do 25% more damage, and you're going to be at full army capacity. And there you go. This is why I classify Belisarius as the best epic commander there is right now. As I mentioned, any other commander that don't have a specialization, they are very universal and general commanders. They can be used in any army, but they do not excel in any army. And this is a problem where people get stuck. They get stuck with either CPO, they get stuck with Boudica, and they keep leveling them up. Hopefully one day they're gonna be better. When people have full marches over specializations, you need to have that as well. And as a free-to-play, you need to do that from the beginning, because you're not spending money into the game. This is why, at the moment, for free-to-play, Cavalry is the best option. Now you're probably wondering, well, if they have that much defense, why am I not advising you to go with Byzantium? Because Byzantium have the highest defense cavalry. Well, my friend, if you have so much defense on your cavalry, you might want to deliver some damage as well, and Conquistador have the highest attack. So that's why I'm advising you Conquistadors, because so you can have some attack on your cavalry as well, not just defense, so you can deliver some damage in the same time. Free to play, my friend, this is your option. As I mentioned, you don't necessarily need to have full tier 4. You can have tier 3. When you unlock tier 4, you keep training tier 4. When you have speed ups, you will upgrade with speed ups your tier 3 to tier 4. It's very, very important to try to use speed ups when you upgrade your troops. Don't waste the usual time. The usual time should always be training the highest troops you have available. So at some point, I'm pretty sure that you will be able to have a full march setup with your Pelagius and Belisarius, and if you manage to get your Pelagius to 6 star, you will definitely going to enjoy it. If you manage to get your Pelagius to level 60, that's gonna be remarkable. So this is what I have to say about Pelagius, and this is some of the questions that I keep getting. There's also another question that people want to go free to play infantry. Well, if you want to go free to play infantry, I always tell you the best option, which is Eugi Mundok, which is the only infantry commander, is the only one that has talents for infantry. But then you do not have a second specialization commander that can boost your infantry. and your best option is CPO, which is not really that great because infantry needs healing. As an infantry, you're not necessarily doing a tremendous amount of damage. You're a tank. You're the one that tanks damage. Try to disable the enemy troops as much as possible, slow them down, because you know Richard has a AoE march reduction skill. So this is what basically infantry should be about. Now as free to play, your best option is CPO, but I don't really have heal, so you shouldn't expect great results, especially when you plan to fight against legendary. Epic versus legendary is a no-go, especially not 1 versus 1. So 1 versus 1 epic versus legendary is a no-go in any situation. Even if you are using infantry and they are attacking you with cavalry, they have legendary commanders and they are skilled up pretty well, you don't really stand a chance. This is the fact and this is the truth. As another option that you could go with Eulogimundok could be Boudica, but I'm so about Boudica, to be honest. I would rather put Scipio if I would have as an option. And Eulogimundok, you know, is great, but if you look at his talents, he has attack, so he doesn't have the defense talent pad, so that's your infantry is not gonna be as defensive as using a Charles or a Richard. This is why Charles or Richard, they are so good with the infantry, because of the talents as well. Talents play a very important part as well, not just the skills. This is why sometimes you are wondering, why am I advising a 5-1-1-1 Richard or Charles over a maxed out epic? Because of the talent pad. Because if you use them as a main commander, you have the great talent pad, which is infantry and defense. So I'm pretty sure, and I hope that I did cover a lot of questions, and I'm also getting a lot of questions about Lancelot and Tomoe Gozen. Well, I have to say that these are two commanders that you should try to stay away, because I've noticed that people get stuck with them and they keep using them. I think we did check one of the reports when we were checking the reports, and there was a level 51 Tomoe Gozen. So people tend to get stuck with blue commanders, which they are really bad later into the game. For example, my Lancelot, I got him to level 60 because I needed a Cavalry commander back in the days when talents were different, and now the only thing that my Lancelot is good at, and I'm using him for, is Ark of Osiris, to capture buildings when there is nothing in them. With tier 1 troops, this is what I use my Lancelot with Dragon Lancer, just to capture objectives in Ark of Osiris. Gather runes on the map, or I don't know, send cavalry when we are building something. This is the only reason and where I use Lancelot. So he's becoming very useless, and there is a lot of experience. Don't think I'm lying, there is a lot of experience to get a commander to 6 stars. Same as Tomoe Gozen. No, she's pretty useless, she's doing nothing, and she's 5 star. But because I'm spending money, for me it's much easier to recover doing these failures. While someone who is a free to play, to recover from these kind of failures is pretty big. And we get to the point where I mentioned that people keep telling me why my gatherers are not level 40. Well, I was mentioning about it. Gatherers are not going to win me the battles. The commanders are. Strong commanders. Those are the ones that are actually helping me to win the battles. I rather gather slower resources and manage my resources much better by having less severely wounded on the battlefield than gathering more resources so I can spend more resources. So I rather manage a lesser amount of resources but manage them well than trying to manage a larger, than not managing a larger amount of resources. You know, I'm not sure if it makes any sense, but anyway, I hope you get the point. So this is why my gatherers are only level 31, and the only reason I got them to 31 is because I want to modify Axel so they can move a little bit faster, because I'm farming like 10 minutes away. I'm sending marches like 10 minutes away, so I'm not even trying to get superior tools. My opinion is that level 27 is the most optimal for a gatherer, so you can get that bonus. Or if you actually want 31 for modified axle, but that should include the fact that you have a lot of siege units, so you can actually send your gatherers with siege units. Now, another tip why I'm mentioning about Spain, or why I'm advising Spain for free to play, is the resource production, which is 20%. Once you get to City Hall 22, upgrading buildings is harder and harder, and I'm pretty sure, because they are very cheap, the resources ones, food, wood, and stone, I'm pretty sure many of you, they are bringing them higher at 21 or even 22, because they do not cost that much, and you actually want to upgrade, so the time is not wasted. And there is when the 20% resource production is going to help you out, and that's going to matter for you to generate normal resources. Now, I forgot to mention when I was doing the math about Pelagius and Belisarius, so you have 45% from their skills, and there is another 5% from your civilization. That's 50% defense, just like that. My Cavalry setup right now has 87% defense, and I'm almost at 40 million power, so I have a tremendous large amount of research, and my total defense on my Cavalry is 87%. Now, you as a free to play, you have 50% just with 2 commanders and your civilization bonus. Now, think about that. Right, yo, I believe that I said enough in this video, and I'm pretty sure I covered a lot of questions, and I think I did show a lot of interesting things, and this is why specialization. Now, if you want to do a lot of damage on the battle, obviously skill does the highest amount of damage on the battle. It is proven 1 versus 1 skill does a tremendously large amount of damage. But if you want to manage your resources as a free to play, then you want to choose a specialization commanders, and you want to focus on specialization commanders, as I talked through all this video about it. So you could probably say that mainly I've done this video for free to play players. Right, so I hope this was helpful, and I hope you try to understand what I'm trying to say, and why my infantry is also doing a lot of wonders, because I have 2 specialization commanders, which luckily they are legendaries and maxed out, so there is a lot of bonus on my infantry. Right, yo, I'm gonna wrap this up over here. I hope you guys gonna find this helpful. Until next time, this is your boy Legend Ronnie signing out. Peace out, yo, and take care.